at university. We're going to then change the curriculum in ways in which it suits the African economy or the economy must be indigenized. So that is to say, we're going to put economic freedom into the curriculum. But equally, we're going to make sure that each and every student, right, that registers is able to study for free up to the first degree. Okay. Right? It's important. Now, we're also going to encourage students to study all the way to PhDs. Okay. Right? So it's not only just to say we're putting you into a university and you must see to finish. Yeah. We're going to encourage students to participate in education up to that level.
PhD level. Okay. And so there's the IB system that's happening in high schools right now and in primary schools, I think. And that is it's an independent examination board. So not everybody is in that system. Not everybody is tested in that system. Only certain people are. So in that instance, I don't know if you can answer this question, but so when you come from high school and then you go into a tertiary education, where I'm guessing tertiary education, everybody's kind of taught in the same kind of way. They have the same exam board. So when you're coming from a system where it's different from somebody else, when you guys both go to varsity together, does no one struggle?
Look, I went through both systems. Yeah. I think primary school I was doing the government one, and then when I was doing high school I did the IEB, right, which is the Independent Examination Board. Now that obviously gives you an edge over the other students who went through the government, education. Now, for example, with my friends in the township, they were doing government education. They would come to me, so they would be doing grade 10 and I would be doing grade 9 or grade 8. I was more advanced than they are. I was more exposed to work already before they were. So now you then bring all these people into university and say, we're going to teach you the same way, we're going to expect the same results from all of you, with all the challenges that you've gone through. We don't care. We see you as equal. Now these guys have already worked extremely hard coming from a system that is already broken down, admittedly by the government itself. And those who had the opportunity to get bursaries or scholarships and study in these prestigious high schools, come to university with an advantage.
Also, there is an advantage.
We have an advantage. I mean, one of the simple cosmetic things that I can mention, we get our results prior to the other students. Because already the system has marked our exams. They are that efficient, right? I'm just showing you with a small thing. We get our results before the other students. So by the time the country is saying we're waiting for results, we already know whether or not we're at university. We can plan ahead, right? One of the most important things in the black life is time. Now, black kids will then get their results later on in the year, and they now have to scramble around, right? As to, okay, I didn't get the required marks, I must run to other universities. I, as Vuyani Pambo, would have gone to St. David's, would have received these results and would have made the necessary changes according to my marks. Now, by the time these other ones come, from this system, they will find that, well, we are already placed according to the reality that we would have received our results first. Now, that's just the cosmetic part, but substantively, most IB schools have programs that are tailored directly for students in classrooms. For example, in my classroom we had at most about 20 students, right? So the teacher-student ratio would be 1 to 20. Now, if you go to a high school where I come from, in Diepkloof, whether you go to Fons Luminas or Fidelitas, you will find that in one classroom you won't find anything less than 30 students, right? Now, that is, and this is meant to be a classroom, an area where people are supposed to be learning. You need some quiet, so that everyone needs attention. Now, you then say students must write the same examination board. So the EFF is saying, under the EFF government, there will be one curriculum, right, or rather one system. There won't be IEP or GDE, no, there won't be something like that. There will be one, which makes every matriculant write one exam. The result be equal. There won't be something that forces one to, wait for the other to go in first, and then no. Everyone will write the same exams, which then equalizes the playing field.
Okay.
So it won't be because you have money,
Yes.
because essentially people who enter IEP are those who have money,
and
those of us who have been cherry-picked from these schools that have government system.
All right. So now, okay, let's say that happens, and then everybody writes the same exam, and then we get to varsity. Not everybody can go to varsity. A lot of people qualify for varsity. And I'm not saying they can't go because they don't have money, because some people do have money to go, but there's not enough varsities to accommodate all the matriculants who come out of all the high schools. So what is the plan then for the EFF?
Well, look, as I said, the focus mainly is universities in most cases when people speak, and we're going to encourage people to be artisans, boiler makers, and so on. So we're going to have to go back and rebuild those colleges and assist those colleges to put them in standards that ordinarily universities find themselves, like your Ivy League universities, like your VETS and UCT and Stellenbosch and so on. But equally, you have to build and capacitate those institutions so that you build students those who are not philosophically inclined, who are more inclined practically, must be shifted to those colleges. And we obviously will build more universities and make sure that these universities are capacitated as much as your Ivy League universities like VETS and so on.
Okay. So, I mean, it sounds like a great plan. It sounds like something that could take a really, really long time. Because you spoke about having discussions about gatekeeping and having discussions about this and that. How long do we then wait? I know you don't have the answer in your head, but then how long do we wait till at least something happens, at least one of these things happen, at least everybody's writing the same exam, for example?
Look, this will kick off 2020. The EFF plans to kick this off 2020. So we're not going to spend the next 6 months after elections throwing parties like we know the government of the day does. But we're going to go into, because remember that the EFF manifesto is a plan of action, right? It's not it's a plan to govern. It's not a wish list. It's commitments which have direct sort of implications on people's lives. So when we say we're going to do this, we've said in 2020 this is what we're going to do.
It kicks off there.
It kicks off from there.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about the teachers now. The teachers are very important in our system, but the teachers seem to be people who are paid the least, treated the worst. I mean, this year alone, there have been so many student-teacher conflicts, and it almost seems as if being a teacher is not even worth it. And if you love teaching, you go there and you get demotivated by the condition. There's no books, your kids can't come to school on time, little children are walking to school for kilometers, things are broken. How do you guys plan to, let me say, improve the teacher's life? To make the teacher want to get up in the morning and feel like they want to go and teach these kids?
Well, the EFF plans to do the following. We're going to launch a year-long program called Teachers Matter. That is a program that will look into the well-being of the teacher, psychologically, emotionally, and physically. Because as you would know, those affect your relationship with your work. And we are going to even look into financial assistance. As you would know that our teachers, most of them, their IDs are with Mashonisas because of loan sharks and so on. I mean, because of not having money. So we are going to have to capacitate the teachers, not only professionally, but also personally, so that their challenges don't spill out in the classroom. We understand that majority of the teachers come from impoverished backgrounds. So you need to be able to say, well, let's look at this teacher. What are the challenges? How can the government capacitate and assist this particular teacher? And so that kind of program is exactly that. It says teachers matter. So teachers are important custodian of education. They are the ones that children first interact with. So if a child at an early age is engaging with a teacher that is not interested in the work, you can imagine that this student